Hey guys, YouTube Orndorff here. Okay, and here we go. Now, as I told you guys I was going to do before, now here I am with my retro Bash at the Beach review in honor of SummerSlam this weekend. Yeah, and so for the retro Bash at the Beach review, this is going to be a review for Bash at the Beach 1995. So of course, like if you know like this event, you know that this is like a really interesting one because this event was actually held on the beach. Yeah, this literally was actually at the beach in Huntington Beach, California. So yeah. So this really does have that distinction of having like a very like unusual venue. I talked about this like event before. I put this in my like a strangest wrestling venue list. Yeah, and yeah, it was just like really weird because I mean, it was actually like it was literally on the beach. So yeah, so that was just like really like a strange to see. Yeah. And it was kind of like interesting seeing it actually on the beach. I guess WCW just decided that they wanted to actually like be creative with this, just like what they did with Hog Wild and Road Wild events a year later. They started those like the following year. Yeah, they actually like held those like events at Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Yeah, here like they actually literally had Bash at the Beach be on the beach. So I guess they just wanted to try like that out, kind of like just do something creative with this show by having it like literally on the beach. Yeah, so it was kind of interesting to see it on the beach because throughout the show like there were like overhead views of the beach, and and you did actually like you could see like the crowd like totally like surrounding the ring area. Yeah, but you also did see like legitimate beachgoers there, so it was kind of interesting to see that. Like, can you imagine like actually being there, just like just simply going to the beach? Like you're just like literally like at the beach, like you're like just like lying on the sand or actually going in the water, but you see like this like huge crowd of people, and you like find out that there's like a wrestling event going on there. Yeah, and even like throughout the show, like you could like always like see like in the background behind the crowd how there were actually like legit beachgoers like going in the water or stuff. So yeah, kind of interesting to see it like that. It's like kind of similar to like what they did when like they like debuted Nitro that year at the Mall of America. How there were like legit mall goers at the mall as the show was going on. So yeah, that's just like really like a funny to see how like it's just like a normal like place for people to go to, but yet there's a wrestling event going on there, and you just see that huge crowd of people. So yeah, so kind of like interesting to see this show like that, have it actually take place like on the beach. Yeah, yeah. This event is known for that, actually taking place on an actual beach. Yeah. All right. Yeah, and as far as like how the actual quality of the show goes, well, I gotta say this really was not a very good show. Yeah. I mean, and plus, yeah, it also really didn't help that, like, WCW just decided to have this on the beach, but, yeah, they didn't actually make any money off of it. So it's really similar to, like, what they did with the Hog Wild, Road Wild events, how they really just, like, had the events there, and people could just, like, pull up and watch it. Yeah, people can just, like, walk up and watch it, but, yeah, they're not actually making any money off of it. So, yeah, so I really feel that, like, decisions like this is something that I think, like, did kind of contribute to why WCW went under, because with events like this, they just ended up losing money. So yeah, I don't know if that is actually the case or not. If like these sort of events did actually contribute to WCW going out of business, but yeah, I really have a hunch that this may have actually been a factor to that. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, like this show just it really is just like really not a very good show at all. Just this show was just like pretty bad, honestly. I mean, this is really like kind of an example of like how bad 1995 was for WCW. Yeah, like I like everybody really does know like how in 1995 was really like a really bad time for the WWF. Like it was like probably their worst year ever. Like how bad of in a position they were in that year. But yeah, WCW also was pretty bad in 1995 as well. Despite the fact that it does have the distinction of being the year that Nitro started, like it was still like a pretty terrible year for WCW as well. Yeah, and this it really does kind of like show with this show because just this show just like the matches on the show, like a lot of them were just like really really bad. Like seriously, like the undercard for this event, it just flat out sucked. That's really the best way to put it. Like the undercard on the show was just absolutely terrible. Yeah, like the show, like you had like let's see, how many matches this show have? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you had like 7 matches on the show, but yeah, like the entire undercard was just awful. Like seriously, I'm like, and plus, yeah, like like numerous matches on the show were also like really really short. Like you had like 3 matches on the show that were like not even like 6 minutes. Well, I guess I shouldn't say not even 6 minutes because there were a couple matches that were 6 minutes. But yeah, they really weren't that much. Like they only went like slightly over 6 minutes. So yeah, so you had like 3 really short matches on the show. Yeah, but even the lengthy matches on the show, like the matches that did get like a good amount of time, like they really weren't too memorable. Like they were like pretty boring and forgettable too. So yeah, so so the matches on the show, like a lot of them really just were like really bad. Like I said, the undercard just sucked. I mean, admittedly, like the last 3 matches on the show, like they like like the show did get better with the last 3 matches. Like the last 3 matches were decent enough, but yeah, still like they weren't really that memorable. So yeah, so just pretty much this entire card was pretty forgettable. Yeah. So yeah, so I just really don't know what to say about it. Just this card really was just pretty bad and forgettable. That really is just the best way to put it. Yeah. I mean, I can't even really even really go in depth about like a lot of these matches because there's really not a lot to talk about. A lot of them were just like very boring and forgettable, and like I said, a lot of them were short. So yeah, so I just really don't know what to say about it. Like it really is just like a really bad and forgettable event. That really is like the best way to put this show. I mean, despite the fact that it was on the beach and it does have the distinction for that and is probably known for that, like yeah, the actual quality of the show, like that's an entirely different story. So yeah, so I just really don't know really what I can say about the show. So yeah, I guess I'll just like kind of like talk a little bit about the card. I'm not really going to go into depth about most of the matches, but I guess I'll just like go through them real quick. So yeah. So the first match on the show, you had the United States title on the line with Sting defending against Meng, and yeah, this was surprisingly really boring. I mean, this match lasted like 15 minutes, but really wasn't memorable at all. Like it was just a very forgettable match. I mean, I really don't remember like really anything from this match at all. Like the only thing that I really do remember, like there was one point in the match where Sting attempted to go for a Stinger splash on Ming, and Ming like got his foot up and like kicked Sting to stop him from connecting with the Stinger splash. So yeah, and that's really it. Yeah, and even like the ending where like Sting like ended up of like rolling up Ming, like it seemed to be like kind of like sloppy when he rolled him up. So yeah, yes, yeah. So yeah, so that match just it was just really boring and forgettable. Like there's really nothing memorable about the match at all, and it lasted 15 minutes, and just it's really not memorable at all. So yeah, so if even like a 15-minute match really is not memorable, then that should kind of give you an idea like how bad a lot of the rest of the card on the show is. So yeah, yeah. So that really just wasn't a really was a pretty boring match. Yeah. Then the next 3 matches they were all like really short. Like first you had like the Renegade defending the TV title against Paul Orndorff, and this was just terrible. Also, just I mean, I don't even know who this Renegade guy is. I mean, he just really seemed to be like some cheap knockoff of the Ultimate Warrior. But yeah, he was just terrible. Yeah, and this match was just absolutely awful. So yeah, it was just like really terrible, and I don't remember anything from it. And but then it just like ended when like Renegade hit a suplex on Paul Orndorff, and and it was kind of like they were making it out as controversial because the referee counted 3, but Paul Orndorff seemed to kick out. But yeah, it was just an awful match. Yeah. Then next was Kamala versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and yeah, and once again this was terrible too. Like this was just so bad. Like this match only lasted like 6 minutes. Nothing happened here. Like this was just still like during that whole Dungeon of Doom stuff. So yeah, I'm sure like if you know about the Dungeon of Doom, then yeah, you know like how terrible that stuff was. Just ugh, yeah. But this match was absolutely horrible, and yeah, and Kamala ended up winning after getting some help from the Zodiac. Heck, so yeah, so Kamala ended up winning, but yeah, it was an awful match. Yeah, and then yeah, then next up, then we had DDP versus Dave Sullivan, and yeah, this was awful too. Like seriously, what was going on with this show? Like seriously, how did they have like matches that were like so bad like consecutively like this? Like seriously, what was going on here? Yeah, but yeah, this match really did suck. I mean, DDP really didn't really like truly get over in the company until 1997. So yeah, so this just he was like just pretty much like green at this point. So yeah, this was just terrible. And once again, I remember nothing from this match. Like it just came and went. Like it was only like 4 minutes long, and DDP gets the win somehow. Yeah. So yeah, so really just the undercard on the show was just so freaking terrible. Like seriously, short matches, but even the opening match was lengthy, and even that was boring and forgettable. So yeah, as you can see, like this show really just was really doing like really bad at this point. Yeah, but yeah, but then next up, then the show like does kind of improve, but it really is not enough to really actually save the show and actually make it good. Yeah. And then next up, then we had a triple threat match for the WCW Tag Team titles. Harlem Heat defending against the Nasty Boys and the Blue Bloods, which consisted of Lord Steven Regal, aka William Regal, and Robert Eaton. Yeah, and this match was admittedly okay. Like, yeah, it was actually decent. I mean, it was nothing like. It probably wasn't even anything that good, but compared to everything that we had already seen on the show, it was like a, breath of fresh air. Like seriously, like this was so much better than any of the stuff that we had already seen previously on the show. Yeah, like it was a decent match. Like all three teams did look pretty good in this match. I mean, not really anything memorable happened, but yeah, all three teams did at least do good. I think all three teams did get in enough offense in the match. Like the teams were tagging in and out throughout the match, and yeah, and it was just like all three of the teams were fighting with each other. But yeah, the ending was admittedly kind of confusing because yeah, it was like the Nasty Boys like were attacking Booker T and Regal, and then they like had Booker T like on top of Regal, and the Nasty Boys were like covering like both Booker T and Regal, but the referee counted to three. But then it was like it was then revealed that the ref was counting for Booker T on top of Regal, so it appeared the Nasty Boys had won, but then it was then revealed that Harlem Heat won and retained. So yeah, that was kind of a confusing ending there, but yeah, still the match was actually okay. Like it wasn't really like a good match, but like, yeah, like I said, it was gold compared to everything else that we had already seen on the show. Yeah, so that was an okay match right there. Then next up, then we had Ric Flair versus Macho Man Randy Savage and what they labeled a lifeguard match. So yeah, this was just it was really just a lumberjack match, but with it being on the beach, I guess they just wanted to be creative, so they called it a lifeguard match. Yeah, and this was actually pretty good right here. Yeah, I mean, both Ric Flair and Savage did look really good in this match. Like they did kind of like have like some people from Baywatch here because yeah, during the show they were actually like filming like an episode of Baywatch. So yeah, so you did have some people from Baywatch out there. Yeah, and you really just like had like some other like wrestlers as the quote unquote lifeguards. or at ringside. You had like Harlem Heat, DDP, Max Muscle, Dave Sullivan, Arn Anderson, of course, Johnny B. Bad, Dick Slater, Bunkhouse Buck, Canyon, Jim Duggan, the Nasty Boys, and Mark Starr as the lifeguards of the match. Yeah, but yeah, this was a pretty good match right here. Like, it was a back and forth match. Like, there were some counters throughout the match. At one point, Macho Man did actually reverse the figure four. Yeah. At one point, as the referee was distracted, Arn Anderson came in and did attack Savage to try to help Ric Flair win, but Randy Savage survived it. Yeah. Yeah, and then at the end of the match, then Randy Savage ended up getting the pin. I forgot how. I think like he may have like rolled Ric Flair up or something. I forgot actually how he did win, but yeah, uh, Randy Savage ended up winning this match. So yeah, so this was actually a pretty good match, and this was definitely the best match of the night. So yeah, and then we had the main event with the WCW title on the line, with Hulk Hogan defending against Vader in a steel cage. Yeah, and this was actually a pretty decent match right here too. Like, I thought this match was pretty solid. I mean, if you did see the video I did on their match at Super Brawl that year, that was a pretty good match right there. Yeah, and I thought that this overall was a pretty solid too. Yeah, of course, like a lot of people really did say that like Vader should have actually gone over and won the WCW title over Hogan at Super Brawl, and then have this be the match where Hulk Hogan regains it. So yeah, I think that probably would have been the right way to go for this. But yeah, regardless, yeah, this was still overall a pretty decent match. I mean, yeah, I'm sure like a lot of people were probably thinking this was probably going to be like something that a lot of people were expecting like Hulk Hogan and King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 2 to be like, like where Vader is pretty much beating down Hogan for a good chunk of the match, and then Hulk Hogan makes a comeback and win. But yeah, it wasn't like that. They actually did it look this match right, where like it actually did go back and forth. Like Vader beat up Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan beat up Vader. Yeah, they like use like some weapons, like the big like what is it called? Like the well, you know, like that big horn mask that Vader like wore during his entrances, like that was used throughout the match. Yeah, and like they like threw each other into the cage at points of the match. Yeah, then like you had like Dennis Rodman out at ringside with Hulk Hogan along with Jimmy Hart. Yeah. Then at one point, like Zodiac and the Taskmaster like tried to like come down to the ring and tried to get into the cage to uh, attack Hulk Hogan to help Vader, but then like Dennis Rodman like stopped them from getting involved, and they ended up running back. And then then at the end, like Hulk Hogan then as he then like beat down Vader as he was going to climb over the top of the cage to escape. Like Vader tried to and go after him. But then, as Vader was on the top rope, Hulk Hogan then was able to knock Vader off, and then Hulk Hogan was able to escape the cage and win. So yeah, so Hulk Hogan ended up like retaining the title here. So yeah, so I guess overall this was overall a solid match right here, and yeah, I know at this point Vader was really like coming to the end of his in the WCW, you know, because of course uh like 6 months later, Vader ended up like debuting in the WWF. So yeah, so this was really like coming to the end of his WCW run. Yeah, but this was overall, I guess, a solid match. So yeah, so I guess a nice way to end the show. Yeah. So yeah, so overall, like the show, like I said, the last three matches were like like did improve this show, but yeah, it wasn't enough to save it because yeah, the show still was just like really really bad about that terrible undercard, and even then, like I said, just yeah, even like the last three matches, while they were like overall like they improved the show, they still really were not that memorable. But yeah, they still like were much better than what we had gotten in from everything before. So yeah, so like I said, this really is not really a good show at all. Like, yeah, if it really is a pretty bad show, and like I said, it really is just an example of how bad WCW was in 1995. So yeah, so Yeah, so overall, despite the fact that it does have the distinction of actually like being on the beach and it is known for that, like I can't actually say that this show really is worth going out of your way to check out because yeah, it is just like really really terrible and there's really like nothing memorable about the actual matches on the show at all. Like all that it is known for is actually being on the beach. But that said, like the actual quality of the show is terrible. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I would probably give the show like a 4.5 out of 10. So yeah, so not really recommended to check out. It is really just a really terrible show. All right. So yeah, so I guess that's all I can really say about it. So yeah, so I didn't actually give any ratings for matches is in this video. So yeah, but my final ratings for all the matches will be down in the description if you want to see what my ratings for the matches are. All right, but yeah, definitely just a really bad show and not really recommended. All right. So I guess that's all I can really say about it. All right. So this is my review of Bash at the Beach 1995. Hope you guys enjoy and stay tuned because yeah, I'll also have my Retro SummerSlam review coming up sometime later on this week as well before this weekend. So stay tuned for that. All right. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.